data professionals. And from our survey, we wanted to know the skill spectrum or the data skill spectrum from all data professionals on LinkedIn. And if you see from my screen here, we have beginner as the first term, intermediate, and advanced, right? So our result or the result of our analysis is what you can see on your screen now. And from our survey, we found out and discovered that we have more beginners in field of data analysis than we even have more advanced professionals. So we have a lot of beginner and there's a skill gap. And if you look at for you to advance from the beginner stage to the advanced stage, your level of expertise is supposed to also go from low to high. And interviewing or getting this data actually informed a lot of things for us and made us realize that there's actually room to grow. There's actually room to become better from a beginner to intermediate and advanced. And for you to successfully actually enter the job market as a data analyst or a data professional, not only does your skill level need to increase, and sorry, please can you mute your mic if you're just joining? Thank you. So your skill actually needs to increase. So for example, I am a prospect employee and I'm applying to jobs. Your employer would actually be interested in what can you do? What is your level of expertise? And that is you or the individual or you as an individual, you need to be intentional about moving from the beginner stage to the intermediate and finally the advanced stage. Getting to this advanced stage might really will take will take a little more time and more expertise by you engaging with stakeholders and working on projects. But you can definitely move from beginners to intermediate in a very short space. It depends on you as an individual, and we're going to show you how. And for you to show expertise, you have to like up your game when it comes to the level of skills you have. So this webinar was put up because of these findings on inside report from a survey. And we hope that at the end of this webinar, we'll be able to whet your appetite about what the data analytics space look like. We're able to show you or give you one or two tips that can help you build a strong foundation in data analytics. We'll also show you how to navigate your journey so that it's more structured for you. And we'll also tell you how to get started. I'm really excited at what we'll be able to achieve at the end of the seminar or webinar, rather. So let's start at the data analytics space. What is data analysis? What does it look like? What is involved in this space? I'm sure a lot of us are curious about it, right? I'm now going to show you what we can find in the data analytics landscape. So the world of data, as we can see, actually has three constant things. So for you to delve into the world of data, you will definitely stumble onto data, the professionals and skills, right? So data is something you definitely would work with when you stumble or when you delve into the field of or the world of data. And it's even easy these days. Data is being generated every day from your smartphones to social media to even you making calls, right? You making calls, you're generating data. So data is being generated at a very, very unprecedented amount. And we have a lot of data sources where we can get data. So I would say there's no less data to work with. We have more data to work with in this time and age. But now with the amount of data being generated, there's also a rise in the need of people that understand how to work with this data. So this is where we come in and say, okay, yes, we need professionals. So the professionals are those people that work on this data being generated to generate insights, to make sense out of the data. Data is just raw numbers, right? But when the professional comes in. So these professionals are a range of people, right? So they could be data analysts, data scientists, data engineer, machine learning engineer. So it depends on the field you want to specialize in. For professionals, generally, are those people that will take this raw data and transform them into something useful, depending on the use case. And now, it's not enough for you to just call yourself a professional. You can need to have like a skill. You need to know how to use technologies, and you need to have like some soft skills to work with on this data and be able to communicate them properly. So it's not even enough to just work on the data and do the analysis. The another thing is also communicating your insights, your results to the end user. Your end user can be anybody, right? So skills for me is really something that is all encompassing. You have to, as a data professional, be well adept in the use of tools, right? We'll delve into that later. Tools and technologies. So there are a lot of technologies out there that would help you actually process data, clean it, make it useful, and finally get your results, then communicate the data. So it's a lot of process, right? And also, you as a data professional, aside your technical skills or your grounded knowledge in the use of technologies, you also need to be well adept in communication skills, soft skills like communication skills, collaboration, teamwork. Um, in the industry, you can't be a standalone analyst. You definitely have to work with people, right? You have to work with your team or you have to work with the stakeholder. So all this in combination actually grooms you and shaping your soft skills. So I'll summarize this to say the world of data has this three constant thing, which is the data you have to work with, the professional to work on this data and transform it to make sense out of it. And these professionals must have the skills and must know the tools they need to work on or to work with in order to be able to make sense out of this data. So, what is the data analyst outlook in present times? So, according to research, right, data analytics market is projected to grow from six from 7.03 billion in 2022, 8.0 that's 303 billion in 2030. So this is like a projection, and you can see that there's a 27.6% growth year on year on how the market will grow. So let's say, for example, in 20, we have this growth. We have 7.3 billion in 2020. So it increases by 27.6%. So there's a 27.6% chance to actually enter this market every year, and it keeps on getting better, right? And also data from a very reliable source actually analyze data job offers by seniority level. And you can see here that entry level has the most or the largest amount of job offers in the market today compared to the mid slash senior level, the associate level, or others. So if I take you back to the survey we carried out, we have a lot of beginners, right? So in as much as the population of beginners is a lot presently in the market, there's still space for everyone, right? You can, as a beginner, get a job or a data analyst job. So I would say you should sit tight and relax. So this is the best time actually to learn data analytics or data science. In this is the best time to learn it because of this projection and also the revelation from this survey by the reliable source. So learning data analysis is a very, very good investment into your future if you want to consider it. Um, so who is data analytics for? Data analytics is for me, data analytics is for you, and data analytics is for everyone. So it's regardless of your background, regardless of what you studied in your university, you still have a chance to enter into this field. I'll give an example using myself. I honestly did not imagine I'll be into data analytics at this time, considering the fact that I'm coming from a public health background. But here I am. I'm a data analyst. I work as a data analyst in a very, very good firm. And I also inspire people to actually start their journey into the world of data. So I will leave you with this last word. I would say embrace the power of data and let it guide you from the realms of uncertainty to the height of mastery. So it's all in your hands. You are the person to make the decision. You are the person to make that move. Although we can push, the best we can do is push you and encourage you. But you as an individual, you are the person to start that journey and make it a worthwhile journey. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague Enamdi to continue the presentation. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Clara, for that awesome presentation. I truly appreciate. Uh, Thank you everyone for taking out your time to join this call. Again, we appreciate your patience and understanding. At the 11th hour, we had to switch platform, all right, due to some technical difficulties, and still you find a way to join the meeting. So thank you guys for joining. So I'm going to pick up from where Clara stopped and then continue the discussion. So we're going to make this very brief due to the same technical challenge we had, so that we can accommodate as many questions as possible. Okay. All right, so I'll be speaking on navigating your data analytics journey. If you have questions while I speak, I see that somebody has dropped a question already. We are going to touch on those questions by the time we're done with this whole webinar. So, how do you navigate your data analytics journey? So many people are interested in getting into this field of data science, data analytics, or data engineering, but they don't know how to get started. All right, I'm going to start by sharing my story. Yeah, I'll tell you my story of how I moved from being a classroom teacher into a data scientist and a machine learning expert. All right, so once upon a time in my life, I found myself in a classroom as a mathematics teacher, even though I've been fighting not ever to get myself there, all right? Because I've always been telling myself, it is not because I'm studying mathematics, I must end up as a math teacher, right? Because that is the thinking and the belief of the average African, and in fact, even people at large in the world. They believe that when you study math, then the only thing you can do is to become a teacher, right? But I don't belong to that school of thought. So, but along the way, it just happened that I eventually found myself in that space. But because of the experiences I had, because of my drive, because of my passion and my dream, I started thinking of how do I get out of that space and what else can I do? Okay. Thankfully, I got to, hear about data science even before now. I've been into statistical analysis. I've never heard the word data science or data analytics, as it were. All we know is statistical analysis, even when I was in school, because I had a little background in statistics. I did ND statistics. All right. So when I got to know about data science, something now came up. I became very curious. So the very first step you want to take as an individual to get into this space is to increase or ignite the level of curiosity in you. You have to be very curious, right? So I started asking questions. What is data? What is data analytics? What is data science? Now, what can I do with all of these tools? Or how can I become one? Excuse me. How can I become a data analyst or a data scientist? I started asking a lot of questions, started seeking answers to some interesting things I say about this whole field or this whole space. And next, the next step I took, okay, is to start gathering knowledge. So if you are interested, if you want to go into this space, the next step you take after increasing your level of curiosity, because for you to be on this call right now, it means you are curious. You've seen our advert out there. You want to come and know what we have to say about data analytics and this data analysis, as it were. So your curiosity had brought you here, right? So the next step you will take is knowledge, because that was the next step I took. So I started seeking for knowledge. I started taking some free courses on data science and data analysis, analytics. I took as many free courses as I was able to take. But the issue I had then with free courses is that there was less guidance, there was less, support, because it's just open and it's always there for me to go back to at any time. So I didn't have the ability to break forth and to get myself into the space that I am right now. Even though I've not gotten to where I want to be, but at least I know that I've made much more progress. So I started gathering knowledge, I started learning tools, very different kinds of tools, and these are the tools you should also learn if you so wish to become a data analyst. Now, what are these tools I got myself, acquainted with? The first tool I started learning was Python. Python is a general purpose programming language that is used for data manipulation, analysis, visualization, machine learning. Python is not just restricted to the area or the field of data. You can also use Python for web development and app development. So I learned Python. All right, I started learning Python haphazardly without any mentorship, without any direction. Then uh, I went into when I got a structured training, when I started going for a paid training, then I got to realize that, oh, there are some tools I will have to learn. And the Python I was learning, even while I was doing some free training, was just learning Python randomly. I did not learn Python to specifically for data science or data analytics. But by the time I started enrolling for paid training, I knew the difference between learning Python as a general purpose programming language from learning Python as a data analyst or data scientist. So I then, I gained these skills, the Python programming skills, and I went into learning SQL, which SQL stands for Server Query Language. Is a programming language that is used in querying databases and manipulating databases. So this should be the next tool that you should learn as a data analyst. Then I also went further to learn some skills in Microsoft Excel. Even before now, I have been used to Microsoft Excel. I use Microsoft Excel as a spreadsheet package. I never knew that it has some more powerful, functionalities. You can run some powerful analysis using Excel. You can run some statistical analysis. You can do some data analytics. You can even run some economical model and statistical model. So I was exposed to all of these more advanced analytics and even creating dashboards with Excel when I channeled more energy into data analytics and data science. And then the next tool you should get yourself acquainted with is Power BI. So Power BI is a visualization tool. It's a business analytics tool. Can use it to create awesome and interactive visualization that can help you transform data into its raw state to a very powerful, charts that can give insights to an individual and businesses, and to also enable you as an individual or a business owner to make informed decision. So Power BI is a very powerful tool for visualization. So this is the other tool I got myself learning, and this is the tool that you should also endeavor to learn as a data analyst or a data scientist if you must do cool stuff with data. Now, upon learning these tools, the next step I took as an individual was to become creative. So I increased my level of creativity. So creativity will come in when you are given raw data. You are called upon maybe for a contract, or maybe for you're working for an organization. You'll be presented with the data and say, okay, just go use this data and answer these business questions. So your creativity is what will come in and will enable you to know the kind of analysis you want to perform, whether it's going to be a descriptive analysis or a predictive analysis, or you want to create some models from your data. So creativity will come in handy when you see data. Your creativity will help you know what to do with the data. Your creativity will help you know how to clean up this data, how to transform the data to become useful, and the different kinds of analysis you perform, just like I said earlier. So this is one other very important aspect that I did. I built myself, I trained myself on. So I try to increase my level of creativity, and this is what I'm also presenting to everyone on the call. If you are passionate about data analytics, you should also take this as a very important phase at some point in your journey. Then next, you don't stop at just being creative, but you go ahead to be, excuse me please, you should also move on, take a step further by becoming collaborating. You have to collaborate with people, because in this space, you cannot do it on your own. You can't do it all by yourself. There are there will be a point you will get to where you will need to consult somebody, someone that has been in this space for a while. There are some kinds of projects that you may not be able to work just complete all by yourself. So we here at Datafied Technologies, we also create this platform of collaboration. We create a community of data scientists and data analysts, so that even when you are posed with some challenge or any challenge in the near future, you can find someone to speak to, you can find someone to brainstorm with on the whatever challenge you might be facing, or whatever project you might be working on. So collaboration is key. So that was the next thing I did as an individual while transforming my journey from being a classroom teacher into becoming a data scientist. So collaboration helped me a lot, because I got to meet with so many people from different parts of the world. I was privileged to work with different people on different field, different specialization, to build awesome tools or awesome solutions. After you've improve your collaboration power, the next thing you want to do is to start working on projects. You have to build a very strong data analytics profile or portfolio. So how do you build up a portfolio? A portfolio is just a collection of different projects you've worked on at different times. You should find a platform, a very good platform, where you can host all of this portfolio, so that whenever anyone wants to see what you have done, you have something to share with somebody. And even if you are applying for a role of a data analyst or data scientist, you have something to show for it. So portfolio is very important. Working on projects is what will make you more versatile and become a pro or a professional in this same space of data. The more you work with data, the more you do things with data, the more you get to understand data and how to play with data. So I'll always advise anyone around me to keep working on projects, because the only thing you need to do to get this particular space to become a master in this space is to work on as many projects as you can. And when you work on the project, don't just keep it by yourself. You share with people. Share with someone. Say, okay, this is what I've done. I've built this dashboard. Come look at it. I want you to critique it for me. Tell me, give me feedback about the dashboard. What can you see? Can you tell anything? Do you have any insight from this dashboard? So build a portfolio and showcase your expertise. Very, very important. Now that we've talked about all of these things, so how do you even get started? That is the next question you might be asking yourself. How do I get started? Now, I know what data analytics is all about. I know some tools that I need to learn to get into this space of data analysis and to become a data analyst. I've seen some of the soft skills I need to improve myself as a data analyst. Now, how do I get started? So the first thing, remember I said there are free courses out there you can actually take, to start. But one of the disadvantages of taking these free courses is that it's not tailored, it's not well structured. Some of them are not well structured, and even if they are, you might not have this self-discipline to keep going, because there's no one pushing you. There is no specific date to ending a particular program. Most of the free courses are just there for life. You can always access them. So I'm speaking based on experience, because I've been on this journey for quite some time, and it took me a while before I got this point I am right now. So that is why we're bringing this to you guys, and I would always want to advise and encourage you to go for a paid course, so that once you pay for the course, you know that you have paid for what you want. In fact, whatever you pay for is what you value. So how do you now? What platform do you choose, or who do you choose to learn data analytics from? So at this point, I'd like to pitch Datafied. to everyone on the call. So we are coming up with a very interesting and amazing structured course that we are launching this September cohort. We are pitching to you to join Datafied Academy at this point. So Datafied Academy is a subsidiary of Datafied Technologies. Datafied Technologies is actually a company that focuses on providing data solution. It has the consultancy arm and the academy arm. So this is the academy arm bringing this course to you. And this is going to be a 4 month course for beginners and a 5 month plus course, which is something around 6 months for advanced. Now I'm going to talk more about the beginners and advanced course very shortly. So remember I said that when you have picked your interest, since you have interest in going to this space, you need to look for the course to take, right? So we're presenting a course to you right now. Now, when you join the Datafied Academy, you have the advantage of learning this course from professionals, people that are already working in the industry. So there is a difference between having somebody come teach you some concepts that is just theoretical. The person just knows the theory part of this concept or these skills, this particular, yes, this concept, let me put it as concept, but the person cannot actually tell you the practical part of it. So that is not the case with us at Datafied Academy. When you join us, we have testimonies out there. We've run 2 different cohorts before this. This is going to be our 3rd cohort. And we've seen how we're able to transform people that came into the program with zero knowledge about data to become up, they've gotten to intermediate level by the time they were finishing our training, provided you do everything we ask you to do. So we give you all the guidance, we give you the mentorship you require, we will teach you the tools you need to use as a data analyst, we would show you the way, right? We'll hold you by your hand and show you the path through which you follow to become a data analyst. And we are doing all of this from experience. We're not doing it based on theory. We didn't go somewhere to read these things and say, okay, we're coming to teach you. But we're going to be teaching you practically from experience. And these are some of the steps I've taken that had gotten me to this point. And today I can now be proud to say I'm a data scientist. But one mistake I would not want any one of you on the call to make is going through the longer route like I did. So it took me a longer time to become a data scientist. Why? Because I never had a mentor. I wasn't exposed into some of these things I know now. So I would say you are privileged to know Datafied, and you're privileged to have joined this particular webinar. And if you go ahead, take a step further by signing up for this course, which is going to start by next week, Saturday, then I would say you are much more privileged to join, because in the next 4 to 6 months, 6 months, your story will definitely change from being maybe at some level of knowledge about data into becoming up to intermediate and advanced data analyst. Now, let me talk some more about the course. We have like I said, we have 2 different levels of the course, the beginners and the advanced levels. I have listed the courses or the packages you need to learn, and those are the things we teach you right here at Datafied Academy. So for the beginners level, you will be introduced to data analytics for the first week. That is going to be the same thing both for beginners and advanced level. Then we have another course on Excel for data analytics. So this is going to be Excel, focusing Excel for data analytics. Excel also can serve as a multi-purpose spreadsheet package for, at some point. I mean, to a very large extent, but our focus is going to be Excel for data analytics. So that is going to be taken by the beginners, while we teach the advanced Excel for data analytics for the advanced level. Then we'll move on to SQL for data analytics, Power BI for data analytics. Then we'll also touch on basic statistics. This is also a very important aspect. As a data analyst, you should have knowledge about some basic statistics, because everything you do as a data analyst is just running on the engine of statistics. So you have to be exposed to it. Now, one other very important course, data storytelling, is very important. If you gain this skill, if you have the technicalities knowledge, but you cannot tell story from data, then you won't be able to go far. So we teach you how to tell story using data. And then one important thing, one good thing about us is that for every course you take, you are working on guided projects. So the goal is to make you have a good portfolio before you are done with the program. So all of these projects we put together, we teach you how to build a portfolio, and then by the time you're done with the program, you have a portfolio, you have experiences of projects you've worked on, and you're exposed to these tools. So both for the advanced and the beginners level. So, but for the advanced, you must have gained some level up to intermediate before you can join the advanced program. Because when you join the advanced program, what you'll be building upon are the things that you left off at the beginner's level. So you're working on more sophisticated projects. Then also for the advanced program, you're going to be taught Python, but for the beginners, you will not expose you to Python. We'll teach you Python programming language for data analytics and lots more. So this is what we are bringing to you guys today. And now you've gotten, you've heard about data analytics. You know what it is. You know what it takes you to get there. You've seen an opportunity, which is a course that we're starting in September 9th. So I would admonish every one of you to grab this opportunity and take advantage to be part of this course. So at this point, I would like to present our contacts in case you want to reach us via phone number, email, or websites, or you want to come visit us in person here in Abuja, so you can take any of this advantage and reach out to us. Okay, there's one more thing I didn't say. The course is going to be actually a virtual course. It's not going to be on site. It's an online course. But what is the unique thing about it is that we meet weekends, 4 to 6, Saturdays and Sundays. We have check-in sessions on Wednesdays, and we also run the course in such a way that you never feel left alone, because we are always calling upon you to check upon you. You have facilitators assigned to you as a student that will help you, guide you through at every point in time. So I would like you to check our social media spaces, LinkedIn, and for now, we are just on LinkedIn and Instagram. We're also on TikTok. We're not very much active on TikTok. When you go to those spaces, you see testimonials from our students who have taken, taken part in this training from cohort 1 and cohort 2. And we have people that have gotten job already as business analysts, data analysts, and one of our old students is already in France as a data engineer, because he took, after learning with us, he went further to learn some more. So we'll bring some of our students on our onboarding session, which will be happening next week, Saturday, to share testimonies, because it should go beyond we talking about ourselves. We want to blow our trumpet by ourselves. We want people that have gone through this process to come talk to you about what their experiences are. All right, at this point, I would like to say thank you for taking your time to listen to me and to listen to us. And we would accommodate questions, feedback, or comments. Thank you, guys. Please, if you have questions, just raise your hand and we would call you to ask your question, or give you opportunity to ask your question, whether about data analytics, data science, or about the course that we are bringing forth to you. Thank you, guys. That will be all from my end. So please, if you have questions, please unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question. All right, so I can see a question from Mr. Luke Tech. Please, let me see it again. Please, a quick question. What is data storytelling? All right, so storytelling is all about telling stories from your data, right? So as a data analyst or data scientist, you'll be presented with data, right? Then you go ahead and do some analysis of any sort, depending on what business question you're trying to answer, or depending on your goal or your objective. You are, at the end of the day, you'll be presented with a solution. So the solution could come in form of a model, like ChatGPT, for instance. It's a kind of model, a machine learning model that's running behind the scene, or it could be in form of a dashboard. All right, a dashboard is just a collection of different charts that gives insight about different metrics. So you being able to interpret the outputs or your analysis to your audience by telling a story is what is referred to as data storytelling. So it means that you are presented with raw data, and from the raw data, you're able to run some analysis and then come up with some solution, and you're able to relate your solution with a story for people to understand and get and buy into whatever insight you're sharing with them. So that is just little about storytelling. There is more to it. Data storytelling is also about creating charts, good looking chart like the one we just presented to you, that will, pass messages to you. So there is a course on its own. We teach you how to do all of those things. Apart from being working with data tools, we teach you how to become creative in presentations, in creating charts, and doing cool stuff, both with data and with other good graphics tools at Datafied Academy. All right, thank you very much for your question, Mr. Luke. So if there are other questions, please, we would accommodate them. Thank you guys for listening. So please, we want questions. I want you to ask questions about the course if you have any, and I want you to ask question about. All right. So I can see a question from Ekpedemi Edidion saying, is it only Python you teach? What if I want to learn a different language? So a different language like what? So Python and R, those are the two languages that people use for the data science and data analytics. Now, but Python is, most people in this area of data science would want to go with Python. The people that would want to use R for data, for machine learning models are those people that are much more statistically inclined, because R is much more inclined to statistical models than it is for machine learning models. So machine learning models work, smoothly with R. I mean Python, and Python is much more flexible. Although R is also good, of course. But for now, what we teach during for our advanced class is Python, because the training is much more focused on data analytics, and we are not going much deep into data science yet. So we teach Python for data analytics. All right, Mr. Luke says, all right, I understand. And that question, how long will it take to start applying for entry jobs? All right, so once you are done with our beginners level training, that is the 4 months. For that beginners level, it runs for 4 months. Once you are done with that training, you can get a entry level job. Now we have minimum, I know of minimum two of our students who have gotten two in Nigeria who have gotten uh, uh, jobs as data data analyst and business analyst by the time they were done with this training. They came with zero knowledge, and they went through the training, and now they are working as data analysts and business analysts. Other students have been working on freelancing projects. They've been doing great in the space of in the field of data analytics, and they are doing awesome. So all you need to do, if you can spend these 4 months with us, then you can get to that level of getting entry level job. I can see, say, how much is it? Say, what's the question again? How much someone makes as a data analyst? So now it depends on your level. So for the entry level in Nigeria, on the average, Nigeria don't pay so well. Nigeria, I've checked through that they don't pay so well. But on the average, you can earn as little as 250,000 when you are going into the space as an entry level. So it's not so well, right? It's not so much. But I will encourage you that if you have that kind of opportunity, grab it, right? If you have the opportunity, that I'm saying on the average, you can get that. Some people that pay as high as 600, 500, but I'm just giving you the average value here, 250,000 naira. But if you're going into data at the entry level for advanced countries that pay, that you know that they're trying their pay, they pay up to 1,500 to 2,000 US dollars per month, right, for entry level. So and the goal of this whole training is actually to help you get remote jobs, because this is what is in right now. This is what is in right now. So that is what I have to say. Okay, Ezekiel is asking, is there any difference between Power BI and Tableau? All right, so Power BI and Tableau, they are the same tool. They are both visualization tool, right? So if you know how to work with one, then you can apply the knowledge to other. But they just have slight differences. But they have the same function. They are meant for the same thing. Just like when you see Microsoft Word and Google Docs, they serve the same function. When you see Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets, they serve the same function, but they have little Differences. That is how Microsoft Power BI and Tableau are, and they are built by two different companies. Microsoft Power BI was developed by Microsoft, and Tableau, I can't remember. I can't remember the company that developed the Tableau, but they serve the same purpose. When you learn one, you can transfer your knowledge to the other, and it will work that fine. All right. Any more questions? Any more questions? Thank you for those of you that have asked questions. So about the training, let's talk about how much it will cost you to enroll for the training. Okay, so I'm getting another question from Mr. Luke. So is it possible to take the beginner class and advanced? Yes, it is possible. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So for the beginners class, you need to pay 70,000 naira for the entire period of 4 months. Now we understand that this amount is very small, like it's very affordable. We made it that way because we know what is happening in the country, that people are really struggling to earn to have their ends meet. So we decided to bring it down to that low, right? Now, for the advance, you pay 100,000 naira for throughout the duration of your training period. Now, we are also giving an opportunity for instrumental payment. So we allow you to pay 60% of the fee as for any of them, whether you're going to beginner or advanced, 60% first installment before the training begins. And when we are first week into the second month of the training, you are encouraged to pay up the remaining 40%. And if you're going for the beginners level, 60% of 70,000 naira is about 42,000. So you are expected to pay 42,000 naira before the training begins next week, Saturday. And then when we are already 1 month into the training, then you can pay up the remaining 28,000 naira to make it 70,000 naira. But if you're going for the advanced levels, of course, 60% is 60,000 naira. Then you pay up the remaining 40,000 naira when you're already 2 months into the training. Now, but for someone that is interested in starting from the beginners level and go up to the advanced level, instead of you paying 170,000 naira, we are given some commission, I mean some discounts rather, for you to pay 150,000 naira. So your first installment will be 100,000 in that case, and second installment can now be 50,000 when you are already done with the first level, I mean the beginners level of the training. Now, this is what it takes, right? But want to be plain and want to be open. There are some persons that can approach us individually. I'm not supposed to say this in open, but I think we are fair enough and we are open in anything we do. That might not have things like, might not have the amount of money that we just said here, but they will have to sign an agreement with us. We give some kind of consideration if you don't have up to the same 42,000 naira to pay off, because and you are willing to start, like you are really willing to start with us in this September cohort, because when we start now, the next cohort will be January. So you take this opportunity, this privilege, and take the advantage to join. So even if you don't have up to 42,000 naira to pay 60%, we can reach out to us privately, and we'll then talk about the modalities, and we'll see the kind of consideration we can give to you to also be opportuned and privileged to join this very cohort. All right, thank you very much. If there are other questions, please, I welcome them. Welcome other questions from everyone on the call. If you want to ask about the training, if you want to ask about how you go, okay, the tools you need, right? Let me talk about it also. What you need to succeed in the training. Number one, we need the very important thing we need from you is your dedication and your commitment. We need your dedication and commitment. That is the very most important thing, right? Secondly, we need you to have a computer, a working computer, right? Access to internet and electricity. So ensure that you are able to join our live classes every Saturdays and Sundays. We have various platforms of communication. We communicate. We have a virtual classroom. We have a platform for a WhatsApp platform where we have quick communication. For our main information, where we pass our information mainly is Google Chat. Now we don't just teach you just the skills you need to become a data analyst. We also train you to be able to work remotely. I think I've mentioned that before. I want to stress on it a little bit more. So this is what is happening these days. Even those of our former students that have gotten jobs, they got remote jobs, right? So, and we've seen from our experience, is there assignment during the classes? Of course, like I said, there are projects. So I'm trying to answer someone's question now. There are projects you work. Those are like guided projects, like assignments. So for every single course you take, you must work on project. That is the only way you can know this thing. So you are always working on project from the beginning to the end. So if you are making up your mind that you want to take this course, please just actually just be determined, because it's going to be intense. I won't come here and lie to you and say, okay, because I want you to pay, I will say it's going to be easy. I will not lie to you, because we want you to have results. By the time you're finishing with this course, we want to see results. We want to see you doing amazing things. So it's going to be intense. And if you think you don't have that time, I have to be very plain with everyone on this call. If you think you don't have the time to actually dedicate, remember I said we need commitment and dedication, to actually dedicate your time and be committed, we will advise you not to start, okay? Because you'll be working on projects every single time for every single course. And for you to get certificate at the end of training, you must have done all the projects that, that is going to be given out from the beginning to the end. So you have a lot of projects to work on, and that is what will actually help you build a portfolio. I mentioned portfolio earlier. So portfolio is just a collection of projects you have built. When you're seeking for jobs, or when you're trying to apply for jobs, that will increase your likelihood of getting that role. And that is what has happened in time past. Okay. Now, when you have your portfolio, you push it out there to whosoever that is hiring. You say, okay, this is what I've done. These are the things I have worked on. They want to see what you have done. They don't want to hear what you can do, but they want to see what you have done and what you can do. So that is what will bring up the portfolio. So the first portfolio you're going to build for yourself are the projects you're going to work on, and we're working on real life projects. Like, we're working on things that will help you understand this tool very well. So in the next 5 minutes, this will be ending this webinar. So if you have any questions that you want to ask again about this entire process, please, we are more than happy to have your questions coming. All right. But our advice that once you're done with this call, you can go ahead and start making your payments. In case you've not joined the WhatsApp group, okay, so can someone save his pro? Of course, yes, you can. Of course, we are teaching you how to build your portfolio using tools that you can actually share, okay? It's online. Your portfolio is online. So you can just send a link to somebody and say, okay, go and view my portfolio, see the things I have done. So how much is the class again? The class is for the beginners, it is 70,000 naira for 4 months. For the advanced, it is 100,000 naira for 5 to 6 months. So I saying 5 to 6 months because the training will take up to 5 months plus, and you have capstone projects to be completed in the next for the 6th month. So that is why it is like that. But if you're interested in running from beginners to advanced, then you can then pay 150,000 naira. Again, once you take our beginners level training, you are able to get an entry level job once you've taken our beginners level training. As a health professional, how relevant is data science in the field of health? Oh, this is so much relevant. So much relevant. Clara is on the call. Clara is a public health person. So, and she had worked with a lot with health data. In fact, as a company, Datafied Technology, or the consultancy part of our company, we worked with Kano State, the health board in Kano State, to help them make sense out of that data. Kano State as a whole they contacted us, the Datafied consultancy, to build a solution for them, and we did. So there is data science and data analytics is applied in virtually every area provided data is being generated. How long from beginners to advanced if I'm doing them together? So it's still going to be about 6 months plus 4 months. That's about 10 months. So you have to take that number of months for you to get to from beginner to the advanced level. All right. So in the next 3 minutes, this webinar will be ending. If you have questions, please, you can follow us on LinkedIn. Clara, please, you can share our LinkedIn post. I'm going to share our WhatsApp group. This is a WhatsApp group where those people that have shown interest to join the call, I mean the training, have joined already. So I'm going to share a link to the WhatsApp group so that in case you want to join, you can just click on the WhatsApp group, and from now henceforth, once the webinar ends, we can communicate, we can continue the conversation right there in the WhatsApp group. So here's the link to the WhatsApp group. Click to join. You can also reach out to us via LinkedIn. So that will be all from my end. Thank you guys for joining. So please, if you are making up your mind to pay for the course, go ahead and pay as quick as you can, because we are actually having limited slots. Remember that every facilitator is assigned to a student, so we don't want so much people to be on the training at the same time. The last time that it happened, some people reached out to me after we've started, but I could not accommodate them again. I said we could not accommodate them again because we were already having that number that we require. So we don't want to take so much so that we water down our content. We want to take the number of people that we can actually attend to. So please, if you are really interested in this and you are sure you want to do it and you are sure you have the commitment to give, please go ahead and sign up for it. And then we will see you next week, Saturday. Join the WhatsApp group using the link and ask any question you want to ask from there. Thank you guys for joining this webinar. It was awesome having every one of you on this call. Thank you so much. See you guys next week Saturday. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you and seeing your comments from other questions that you may have for us via our WhatsApp group. Goodbye, everyone, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you for joining once more, and thank you for your questions. Bye bye.